Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass the Move. And for today's episode, we have one hell of a game for you here against Juventus of all teams. So just like we mentioned, we are going to be playing this Italian rival, really, Giants in the Serie A, of course. And it's going to be an incredibly tough game, but we do have some good news for you. And as you can see, we kind of climbed up the table in 8th place, so we managed to shut down the points gap to 7. And Cagliari also having what seems like a poor run of form, because they were 9 points ahead of us and now they're 2 points ahead only after 3 games being played. But anyways, Juventus are the ones who are top now into there. Fiorentina having a good season as well. AC Milan further down, and Roma having a very poor start to their season as well. And we're starting to come towards the middle of the season, so it's surprising seeing them there. But either way, we're here to talk about our own fortunes, and we'll show you what happened since the last episode. So we started the game against Atalanta. Genoa was a 2-1 win in our favour, and as you can see, finally a winning run being going on really. 3-2-1 results. Callion and Koulibaly turning around this result for us here. Rigoni also getting sent off in the 27th minute really helped us go on and secure the result. Dynamo Kiev, we managed to beat them, which means we are in Champions League contention, and we managed, we're still in third in terms of position, but we did beat the team, so it's just 3 points away. And if we can continue the good form, if we can win our next 2 games or even win one and draw the other, then that would mean that we face going into a second spot at least, because PSG and Dynamo Kiev still have to play each other as well. So we're still there. We can still make it into the next round of the Champions League and meet expectations, and hopefully we can do that as well. This time around though, it's Hamsik and Pavlotti who finally managed, I think, to score his first goal for the club here. And so that's good to see as well after plenty of time. And Empoli though, another 2-1 result in our favour. Pavlotti once more scoring in the 34th minute, but Krunic made things uncomfortable for us, but Marco Rog scored a free kick to wrap up the result for us really in the 68th minute. 3 games, 3 wins, and we're hoping it continues today. We make it 4 out of 4. But really, the tactical tweak, I can't believe that I missed out on, and I haven't realised all these years after trying the 4-2-3-1 formation for ages, is something really simple. So as you know, we were playing with a complete forward on support duty, but turns out complete forward on attack duty makes a lot more sense when you're playing the 4-2-3-1. So we have, it's a very attacking formation like we always mentioned. We've got the ball winning midfield on defend here and a deep line playmaker on support. So both players hold their position, as you can see. And yeah, this allows the front four to really go out and express themselves really. So we've got an attack duty inside forward Mertens, an advanced playmaker on attack Rog, and Callion on the wing and support role. And so there's no real need to actually be playing a support role here. Complete forward on support just didn't make any sense at all. Instead, Pavlotti was taking up the area of Rog, Mertens and Callion also not being able to find anyone in the box for them. And so that really just did more damage than I've ever realised, which is a bit strange because I've played with this formation so many times. But yeah, complete forward on attack is the most useful one. It does everything a complete forward would normally do, but instead of dropping into space and running a defense from deep and taking long shots, he just occupies the defense more, and he leads the line, he spearheads attacks, and he crafts out chances for himself and others. So it suits this a lot more. If we're playing already very attacking, there's no need for him to drop in, hold the ball. We've got players there doing that. They're already really high up the pitch themselves, so really his teammates just need him to really take on his 2 centre-backs and draw away pressure from themselves. If he's always dropping and Callion tries to cut in, for example, or Mertens because he's inside forward, then Pavlotti's already ruined everything, and the opposition's back four can keep their shape with no issues. And especially in Italy, where they play with a defensive midfielder quite often, and a back 5 maybe as well, he needs to be there more than ever. So it's the same in the 4-2-3-1 on the defensive midfield. It goes for the same thing really. We don't need him dropping deep. We've got these 3 behind him who are doing all the business, and they just need they don't need them on support, they need him leading the attack. But for the 4-4-1-1, I haven't actually tested it just yet because we haven't really been needing it. Maybe today we can try the 4-4-1-1, it depends. Against Juventus, we're at home, so I would expect us to kind of edge out as favourites, but Juventus are leading, of course. We'll consider trying out the counter maybe halfway through the game or whatever. But yeah, for this one we actually stayed on support because I'd imagine, I haven't actually seen it, but in theory we would need Pavlotti in this time to actually stay on his support role, because he would need to actually try and drag his team into the game, because we're playing on the counter, so the team will be trying to find him, and he holds the ball and then plays through the wingers or the advanced playmakers getting in, past him basically. So here it kind of makes sense to stay on complete forward and support, but we might still consider playing on attack as well. It depends on if this works out or not. But yeah, I think for today we'll go for the 4-2-3-1, continue our good form. No need to go into counter just yet, but we'll see how we perform against Juventus. But yeah, team we're going with today. And another 3 points on the table is what's needed. And if we want to continue our rise on the table, then we'll need to win here today and get an unlikely result against a tough team who really dominate the Serie A in real life. But in the game, not so much. I mean, they're top of the table now, but I would say it's too close to call. I mean, we're all the way down in 8th and we're just 7 points off. And if we win today, that already shuts down to 4 points. And, Inter can go ahead of them. Fiorentina can, well, actually they've played their game already, but Cagliari can go back into 25 points. Which means they're just 2 points off Juventus. So yeah, they're not as dominant as in real life. And that can hopefully work in our favour. They are playing a 4-3-1-2, so by all means they're not being defensive at all. I'll have to man mark Dybala, but yeah, that Dybala, Mandzukic, Higuain combination there is going to be very deadly to our team, and hopefully we can deal with it and expose an injured Buffon and Lichtsteiner. Did I change it back to 4-2-3-1? Okay, apparently we're underdogs, so I might actually consider starting with the counter. The team talk is that we're underdogs as well. Alright, so let's start from the counter, see what we can do. And then maybe we can push into the 4-2-3-1 defensive midfielders and then try the 4-2-3-1, the full out, expressive one. But yeah, I mean, it just makes sense if we're underdogs to carry on. Hopefully my players aren't too relaxed like the reaction suggesting. But yeah, Pavlotti starting, he's going to get his chance to continue his good form. 5 starts, 10 off the bench, just 2 goals, but those have come in recent games, so it would suggest that the complete forward on attack duties is working. Rog, after his good form, gets the nod. Mertens, Kallion are playing on the wings. Allen and Jorginho, Strinic, Maximovic, Albiol, Maggio and Reina. And hopefully that team's good enough to defeat a horribly good Juventus side. A handshake between the managers, and Juventus are the ones that get us off, and hopefully we get a good game here. I'm actually even considering maybe still keeping the complete forward on attack, but changing the advanced playmaker into a support role, so that way, when we're countering, he's there in the middle, not really moving, not really getting too far forward, being where we need him to be really on the count in the sense of a counter. But anyways, we go off to a poor start. Great. 30 seconds, you could tell that was going to happen, and Juventus have opened the scoring already after some shady and poor defending. Couldn't deal with the clearance, not good enough from Allen. Mertens loses out, and Higuain's free behind Maximovic, and Reina doesn't really stand too much of a chance there, but that's poor defending all round, and Juventus come away with an easy goal. Anyways, let's see if this formation will work or not. We want to keep up our winning form, but no real highlights. Apparently we should encourage our players to try more long balls forward, and that would make a little bit more sense playing on the counter. But I like to stick to our principles, and the principles are keeping possession. Having said that, Dybala has a chance to punish us once more. Deal with the initial threat through Jorginho. Lichtsteiner stars the ball. Dybala once more. Can we win the ball back? Nope, it's through to Lemina, who's free. One other shot, Sandro. And that's a good save from Reina, but Lemina still got it. And that is way over the bar. But Juventus are firing on all cylinders, really. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes, we haven't had a single shot. So maybe we should consider doing that and see what happens. I'm actually still convinced that I should be playing the advanced playmaker on attack, because he needs to... oh, Callion's injured, that's not good. Who's on the bench from Giacchini? Alright. Yeah, because he needs to attack this space here. They're playing 3 central midfielders, so you'd expect him to be able to deal with the threat relatively well. But we're on the attack here. Maggio, don't lose it. Oh, Mertens... Pavlotti, Jorginho. Let's just bouncing it back. Pavlotti. Mertens. There you go. 1-1. Bounces about quite similarly to the goal they scored, Juventus themselves. We've had 3 shots now, so I think maybe that works. Maybe we'll stick to the complete forward on attack role and duty, and just stay with advanced playmaker on support to support his midfield players. Pavlotti does really well there to set up Mertens, and he's not going to miss. And I love his preferred player move, which is take first time shots. I think it makes a lot of sense to do that for an inside forward at least. But there you go. I think we've matched Juventus quite well after that first goal. If they hadn't scored that, who knows, we might have been 1-up instead. But we'll just have to deal with the reality of that. And everyone's having a pretty decent game so far. Other than Maximovic, I guess, who let away his man for the goal. Let's try and keep our players. Let's do that. Let's see. Some of them are switched off apparently. So far so good though, and I'll be tempted. Oh great, Juventus 4-3-3 with the strikers, all 3 there. But yeah, I mean, playing against 3 strikers is always tough, but hopefully we can expose them on the counter, expose them on the flanks. And yeah, like I said, the advanced playmaker, I think I want to switch him back to attack just for the sake of exposing this space here. I think we would actually do better off with a 4-2-3-1. I'm going to give it a bit longer than switch to the defensive midfield combo. But let's see whether we can score here. Rog plays the easy ball back to Maggio. Jorginho's on the ball now, deep line playmaker. Who's he going to find? Mertens, the goal scorer, cuts inside. Chiellini plays his... Again, just keep in possession, which is good. But Jorginho plays a really good ball through to Maggio. Can he put a good ball in the box? Eventually crosses in, but that's fairly poor. And Neto is the one who's in goal now instead. Maybe we can expose that. Apparently they've used one of the subs and taken off Buffon, but yeah, the highlight goes on, so maybe Juventus will score now instead. Lemona's on the ball for his team. Look at that, 3 strikers and just 3 defenders there. Maggio's coming out to support, but let's see. We need to really catch them out on the counter. Allen's apparently fouled, and for some reason highlights waited for all that. It would be a bit weird if he gets a red for that. It's kind of a simple foul, and we cannot afford a red unless Juventus are going to score from this set piece. That, by the looks of the highlight, that's what's going to happen. Come on, boys. Or we can expose them on the counter, maybe. Nope, Brazzagali. Quadrado. Oh, that is one hell of a shot. You can't even be upset at your players for that. Quadrado. That's a goal of the season contender. If only that was my team doing that instead. Unfortunate. There's nothing tactically or even player-wise that you can complain there. I guess you could say the players need to shut them down a bit quicker, but yeah, can't do anything about that. Anyways, 4-2-3-1 defensive midfield now. Let's try that. We need to try and score now. We can't really stay in the counter forever. They're still playing a 4-3-3, so that might work in our favour. Rog's not playing too well. We bring on the better attacking midfielder in Hamsik. That leaves us with one more substitution. And I'm tempted to take off Pavlotti. I think I'll do that actually. Just 30 minutes left. Let's see whether our 2 main players who are supposed to be starters, Hamsik and Milik, and see if they can turn this game around for us. We maybe still might be able to come out. Maybe might still come out with a 3-2 result. If that happens, those 2 substitutions will be a huge part of that. Instead, Dybala has a free kick that he's going to score. Yeah. Why only have a 2-man wall in the first place? And how can you give away a free kick that close? But who knows? Maybe we'll still, maybe we'll still be 4-3. I think today's game is a bit unfortunate. I think we've relatively held Juventus quite well, to be honest, considering the players that they have. Most of their players are star players for the division, so I think we've done okay, but we could have done better. But the poor start definitely didn't help us. If we had a better start, maybe we'd be in a better position. I think it's time to get out of our shell a little bit. 70th minute, why not go into 4-2-3-1? Push up our central midfielders, try and expose these areas. They've gone into defensive state anyways. Maybe we can instruct our players to exploit the flanks, because that's where their weaknesses are. They're only playing a single player on either flank. And there you go, maybe we'll get a chance now. Mertens. Really good ball into the box. Albiol hits the crossbar. And Khedira clears the ball away for his team, but we're inching closer. It's just a question of whether we'll be able to do it before the game ends. But the way the clock is ticking, that's unlikely. Alright, another chance here. Maggio. If we score one, we can maybe score a second. Jorginho does well with the ball. Strinic. He wins it. Wins it, but leaves it to Cuadrado, so they get the counter on. And Dybala's gonna help his team here. Can we win it back? I think he's probably still man-marked, which is an issue. Because we don't need him watched anymore if he's not an advanced playmaker. Albiol deals with the threat well. Hamsik finds Giacherini. Anyways, back to Hamsik now. What can he do? Good ball into Milik. What's he going to do? Takes his man on. Is he going to shoot? Loses it instead, but Hamsik's got it back for his team. Mertens now. And that is a good shot from Mertens. And who knows, we might actually get to equalise. Alright, that's not tactics. I want to make sure. Yep, we're still man-marking him even though he's a striker now. That's my mistake. See, that's what I hate about tactical opposition sort of things. But anyways, it's 3-2 and Mertens does the right thing and collects the ball quickly out of Neto's net. To take it back to the halfway line. A good win by Hamsik. Good ball from Milik, I think that was. A bit of a confusion there. But Mertens, again with the first time shot, he really catches out goalkeepers using that. I think I'm going to try and train every inside forward ever from now on to take first time shots. I'm going to go into overload and hope we can nick a result here. But with just 2 minutes left, that's unlikely. Come on. Put in a spirited performance, to be honest. That 30 seconds goal really messes up anyone, regardless. Looks like the whistle's going to blow, though, once Khedira clears it. Nope, he doesn't even have to clear it. And there you go, 3-2, Juventus-Napoli. A classic Italian clash, really. So unfortunately we couldn't do better, but Mertens gets the player of the match, and that's just a credit to him as well as the rest of the team and how they performed. I think we weren't favourites, so no need to tell my players off. They're in good, fairly good morale before this game at least. And we're dealt with a third loss of the season, but if we can continue the winning run we had before we played Juventus, and had we started better, it might be different circumstances. But we just have to accept that and, you know, move on. If we, if Chivo here don't get any points at all, if they lose their game, then we're still safe in 8th, and we can still, climb up to at least Europa League spots and push on into Champions League spots. I think we have, maybe we can't really challenge for the title, the way this game went just yet, but I think if we get into some good running form, we can definitely go into Champions League spots, if not second, at least third. But anyways, let's see when we'll be back. I think there's a game I have in mind already, which is Roma. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th game. We also play against Chivo there, so that's going to be an interesting one. Palermo and Sussulo will definitely be tough games. And hopefully we'll have the Champions League wrapped up by then as well, by getting into the second round, actually. But yeah, I think that'll be all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, then of course please do hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always, guys, thank you all very much for watching.